Another example's smart transition goal is by November 2018, student will research and identify a career pathway as it relates to their personal interests, strengths, and needs with 100% accuracy and completion as measured by student interview and work samples. So, in that overall goal, the specific, again in the red, is research and identify a career pathway. That is what the student will be doing. The measurable part of the goal is what's the evidence that this goal was met. You are going to measure this goal by interviewing the student, discussing this with the student, and then also looking over their work samples. Maybe they might be doing a research project in class that fits this goal, where they research different jobs. Perhaps you have a worksheet to go along with them researching certain careers. Whatever it is, you will look at their actual research. That is their work sample. The A is the achievable. They will be researching this career pathway as it relates to their personal interests and strengths and needs. So that makes it achievable. This is realistic for the student. They're going to be looking up something that as it directly relates to their lives. Are results oriented. This student will either do it or not do it. In order to achieve the goal, they need to do it 100% completion with accuracy. It doesn't say it needs to be done independently. This can be done with a teacher to help them. But fact of the matter is, in order to reach this goal, the student needs to research and identify one career pathway. And then finally, time bound, the when. They have 1 year, assuming that the annual review was November 2017. So they have 1 year till November 2018 to achieve this goal. Another skill check. So which goal did that example fulfill? Did it fulfill education, employment, independent living? The goal reads, by November 2018, student will research and identify a career pathway as it relates to their personal interests, strengths, and needs with 100% accuracy and completion as measured by student interview and work samples. Did that fulfill education, employment, or independent living? Which one do you think? Did you guess right? It can fulfill both the education and employment goals. How did it fill both education and employment? Why? Why did it do that? If you take that goal, by November 2018, so-and-so will research and identify a career pathway as it relates to their personal interests, strengths, and needs. That can apply to both education and employment because researching a potential career satisfies the employment aspect, whereas when the student will in turn research the educational requirements needed to obtain that job, satisfies the educational aspect of the goal. So for this goal, what are some sample objectives we can do? Since the student is going to be researching and identifying a career pathway of their choice, a job that they want to do in their future, dependent on their interests, strengths, and needs, one specific objective could be that the student will brainstorm 3 possible careers they might be interested in pursuing and will select one. So first brainstorm 3 and then select one that is most appropriate for them according to their personal preferences, strengths, and needs. So maybe at first, student will look at 3 possible career choices, and then after discussing with the teacher or thinking about it, maybe they narrow it down to one. You can measure this by doing a student interview, doing this with the student. Maybe you sit down with them after class and review this, and you identify one appropriate career pathway for them. A second objective that may work with this goal is student will identify 2 possible post-secondary education and training opportunities along with their admittance requirements required for selected desired career pathway. So kind of going back to how this would meet a educational goal, one of the objectives could be that they are going to identify 2 post-secondary education or training opportunities. So, okay, if they want this particular job, let's say it's welding, what local community college might have a welding program? Is there a welding apprenticeship? They should research or identify 2 possible opportunities for them to learn this type of skill. So, what kind of education or training program is there for them? They should also research their admittance requirements so that they know if they want to go into that career pathway, this is what they have to work towards. This can be measured through work samples. You could print out all the research that they've done. You could have them write it on a worksheet. It's really up to you. Last sample objective would be student will research the chosen career pathway, including but not limited to salary, job duty requirements, education and training needed, and job outlook. So they could go on a career website, kind of like ONET Online, and research, if let's say they want to be a welder, what is the entry level salary? What are the job duty requirements? What kind of training do they need? And then what's the job outlook? Is this a prosperous job? Is this one that is hiring, or is this kind of a dead end job? All 3 of these objectives will satisfy the goal and then give the student some sort of framework to start thinking about their futures after they exit high school. What do they want to do with their life? This goal specifically satisfies that. Now you try. Do you think you can write a transition goal independently? We're going to break down into groups of 2, and with a partner, you should first review the provided case study and completed transition survey assessment, which will be a comprehensive type survey so that you get to know the student. And then after reviewing that information, you should create 2 SMART goals. One that fulfills education or employment with 2 objectives. If you want to get very fancy, you can do education and employment goal, kind of like how I demonstrated before. And then you will also write an independent living goal, again with 2 objectives. After you guys do that, we will come back as a group and review and kind of talk this through.